Hey, today we are talking Smallville episode. I believe this is episode 7, Craving. But I could be off, it could be episode 8, but I really am pretty sure it's 7. And it's called Craving, which is starring Amy Adams in a fat suit. Ladies and gentlemen, Amy Adams in a fat suit. Now, I don't know, probably a lot of people aren't watching the Penguin one that are watching this, but I'll talk about it anyways. This episode is just going to be a bit different because sadly, when I recorded this episode, my audio decided to be just horrendous. The audio right now really isn't great either for some reason. I'm recording this on my main computer and not my side computer, and for some reason, my main computer doesn't like me. I don't know. But yeah, so there's that. But, so what we're going to do is we're kind of just going to go over the key points that happened, my thoughts and feelings during those parts. I'm going to add in video from the TV show just to kind of emphasize my points and my thoughts during these moments. But yeah, it's just going to be a bit different. It's probably going to be a much shorter episode, much shorter video because we're not doing a full react to it. We're just kind of going over the big key points that I thought were relevant when watching it. I'm sorry. It's not often that I talk for such long periods, and I just did a different video like 5 minutes ago, so I'm going right back into talking again. But let's go ahead and start in the beginning, which is that we are in a greenhouse with Amy Adams, whose character name I cannot remember, but we both know she's in a fat suit. She's definitely in a fat suit. And she's talking to her dad about how she wants to be skinny for Lana Lang's birthday party, which I think it's kind of weird for Lana to be having a birthday party at, I'm guessing 16, because I definitely wasn't having birthday parties at 16. I was having like, hey, let's do a get together with like 3 of my main friends, and that was it. And Lana kind of feels the same way throughout this. Like, this is definitely, she's like, this is more my aunt's party than mine. I really didn't want this big shindig thing that they're having at Lex's place, I guess. It's really weird, I guess, but yeah, they're doing that. But Amy starts like picking these vegetables out of the garden or in the greenhouse to make them into a smoothie, and oh, what's there? Kryptonite! Oh my god, kryptonite's in the soil! So that happens. Later on, Amy's like putting pictures of her head over like really skinny women, which is like, I would say super unhealthy, but you know, back then, I'm pretty sure this came out in the early 2000s, if I'm not wrong. And back then, sadly, like, like I don't know if I have any Buffy fans, but like people used to say Tara from Buffy was like overweight, and I'm like, you're crazy, you're insane. But you know, back in 2000, if you had even just a slight bit of meat on you, they'd burn you at the stake. So, but she starts talking to Pete and Chloe, and Pete's being like really nice, and you can kind of tell that like Amy's character kind of has a crush on him a little bit. And you know, up walks his kid who like throws a basketball at her and is like calls her a whale, and he's like super mean, and like Pete is like, why do you have to be such a, you know, such a rude person, blah blah blah. And he kind of defends her, and of course, knight in shining armor, Amy, you know, Amy's character is like, oh, Pete, he's such a gentleman, right?
That looks appetizing.
Losing weight is never pretty.
Hey, Ross, we're getting a little game together. You want in, or you want to keep whale watching? Dust him back off. Ooh, chill out, cool guy. I didn't know you were chubby chaser.
So that happens. And then we kind of skip forward a little bit to Amy drinking another one of her smoothies from the garden, and her stomach starts like making some noises, and I mean noises. And she goes upstairs to the bathroom and she starts weighing herself, and she like shows her stomach, and it's like moving around. I don't know if you guys have ever seen Doctor Who. There's an episode. I'll put a clip of that too while I'm putting a clip of this. And she like starts rapidly losing like weight, like 15 to 20 pounds. It's crazy how much she loses in that moment. Um, so she loses that, but then she's like ravenous and she's like destroying everything in her kitchen. She's eating as much as she can because it's like her body can't even keep weight on at all. Like it's practically starving. So there's that. And then I think there's a scene. Oh, there's a scene where, you know, Amy's sitting there and Pete and Clark and Chloe show up, and Pete's like, hey, he's like, hey, I'm sorry about that, what happened the other day with the guy. And Pete's like, have you like lost weight? Because like she definitely looks like she's lost weight. She's lost like 20 pounds in a day, which is crazy. And of course, nobody says anything. They're like, oh, this is all normal. The gang who's been dealing with crazy stuff for days now is just like, this seems totally normal that she's able to lose 20 pounds in the span of a day. Super normal, I guess. Um, and like Amy's like, I wanted to know if you would be my date to Lana's birthday to Pete. And, Pete's like, he's like flushed. He's like, they say yeah, and it's really cute and it's adorable. And like, you can see Amy's like super happy about it.
Jody? You look...
Dinner? I was still looking for a euphemism, but yeah.
Are you okay?
Never better. My diet's just starting to pay off. I bought some new clothes.
You look great.
Thank you for sticking up for me yesterday. Most people wouldn't have done that.
So that happens. And then, I guess while driving, and Amy's like eating a lot of food, like while driving, she accidentally hits this deer, and she's like, oh no, and she goes out there and then like fully like loses control and like sucks all of the fat out of this deer and like eats it, and her jaw like does that mummy thing. It's not a great look, to be honest. But she does that, and then like Chloe and Clark are like kind of investigating this deer thing, but like they're just like, what could it be? And then like they sit down at lunch with Amy's character, and she's like eating so much food, like an insane amount. And they were just talking about theories, like, well, it's got to be something that eats fat and blah blah blah. And like they still don't put two and two together that it's Amy's character, which I think is insane. That they don't put it together until the like truly very end of the episode. So yeah. There's also like a bit where like Clark makes a promise to Lana when she needs to stop doing that he'll be there and he'll be, her support system at this party because she doesn't want to even have this party. Of course, he doesn't make it because he has to go save Pete later. So, but that's later. We're not in the later. We're in now. So, at school, her and Pete are talking about something. It's probably another really cute moment. But after that, the kid that like was bullying her and calling her a whale was like, whoa, you look kind of like smoking hot now. What happened to you? And she's like, wouldn't you want to know? And like her stomach gurgles and she's hungry. And she goes and like takes him to the boiler room and sucks all his fat out.
Well, what can I say?
You can say you're sorry.
But don't worry, he doesn't die. Clark saves the day. I'm pretty sure Amy's like our first character that hasn't like killed somebody who's gotten powers. She almost killed that kid, but she didn't. She did kill the deer though. Sucks. But he's like, the kid was fully drained of like all his fat, and they had to take him to the hospital and get him to feel better. Some other stuff probably happens. It's probably when they, some stuff happens where like Chloe and Clark put it all together. They're like, oh my god, it's Amy. Amy's the one that's doing this. Right? So, it's later that night. Pete goes to pick up Amy's character, and then Amy's stomach starts like, right? And she's like, I can't. And she's like, I can't go. And Pete's like, yo, what's going on? You know, and he like tries to be nice. And he's like, oh, you look beautiful. Like, there's no reason. And like, she's like, I'm a monster. And then he's like, what? And she's like, I'm just so hungry. And like, she like jumps on him. But then something happens. I can't remember if it was like a crash or something. But she's like, oh, Pete. And she like runs away to the greenhouse.
Come on, Jody, you don't have to hide.
I don't want to hurt you.
Come on, Jody, you couldn't hurt her.
Please, leave.
Where there's kryptonite, because, you know, we gotta make this battle hard for Clark. And Clark shows up, and he's like, Pete, what happened? And he's like, I don't know, right? And Clark goes out, and she's like, I'm just so hungry. And, like, she kind of pushes Clark, and Clark's so weak because there's so much kryptonite in this greenhouse. She's like, oh no, I almost killed Pete. She's like, I know the answer, which is the answer that, for some reason, so if it's not that they fully become evil killers, the second choice is they say, I'm gonna end it, and they try to end their life. Those are like the two options for Smallville villains, apparently, are I'm gonna kill everybody, or I'm gonna myself. So, she tries to do that by, like, making the greenhouse explode. Of course, Clark saves the day, saves her, saves himself, even though there's kryptonite everywhere.
Look at me. I'm a freak. I know how to stop this for good.
He's cool. And that happens. There's probably like some ending music that's just like, and like something probably happens with Lana like it usually does. Clearly it didn't hit me because I didn't put it in the notes that it was an important moment if there was one. But all in all, they save the day. I don't know what happens to Amy's character after. She probably goes to the hospital that all the other people go to that don't die. I don't know. But she didn't kill anybody, so that's good. It was nice. I will say, it really sucks that this happened, because this was the first episode in a minute that I really enjoyed the episode, and it might have been Amy Adams, it might have been other stuff. I really like for this one that we focused on Amy Adams a lot more than we focused on, like, the other stuff. Nothing against Clark and his obsession with Lana, but, like, I've seen it, and then I've seen it again, and I'm good. I don't need to see it anymore. Which I know, 10 seasons. Of course, I'm pretty sure Lois shows up at some point. I know that much, at least, about the show. But yeah, it was a pretty good episode. I really did enjoy this episode. It wasn't a bad episode at all. Considering, actually, last episode I liked Hourglass too. It was pretty good. We've had some slow ones, and then we've really picked up. Like Cool was okay, but it really wasn't doing anything for me, you know. This one I really enjoyed. So yeah. Also, fun fact, hopefully either I will already have it out or I'm gonna have it out this week, but I reacted to Man of Steel, and of course, Amy Adams plays Lois in Man of Steel. So that's really fun. So don't forget to check it out if it's coming out this week, and don't forget to check it out if it's already out. Either way, it's fun. Thank you so much for coming by. I'm sorry this isn't the normal video, but I hope you still enjoyed it. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.